Fellas, blink if you haven't purchased a Father's Day gift yet. Yeah, we thought so. Today's episode is brought to you by Manscaped, the leaders in below-the-waist grooming. Maybe your pops has had a bush since the 70s, and that's okay. Our friends at Manscaped have crafted the total package for his special day. Whether it's for the boys downstairs, his beard, or even the best pair of underwear out there, Manscaped has his bases covered. And you know what? Start by upgrading that beard trimmer that your dad's been using since you were in grade school. Introducing the Beard Hedger Pro Kit, the complete beard maintenance kit for all the bearded kings out there. Just head over to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the code Bourbon Hunters. From daddy to zaddy, trust Manscaped. On this episode, Dude, Brett, Tyler, JD, and Jason take a trip through 3 different Old Forester President's Choice expressions, including one from 2024. Find out what we thought on this episode of The Bourbon Hunters. Have you thought about supporting our podcast? Head on over to our website at www.bourbonhunters.com where you can, by picking up one of our Kinsey Drams or using the link to order from our partners over at manscaped.com. Thank you for taking time out of your day to join us on our hunt for great bourbon. Reward yourself and sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy. Welcome to another episode of the Bourbon Hunters. I'm Dude Pool. I'm joined by
Brett Bryan,
JD Fritches,
Tyler Schaefer.
And we've got Jason C. from the Mash and Drum as well. So, all right, today, guys, we are going to talk about Old Forester and our barrel pick that we just did, which should be coming out sometime between August and October. And hit us up if you're interested in a bottle. Actually, it'll be 100 proof. We'll talk about more of it when we get into the episode. But today we're going to do 3 bottles of President's Choice. And we're going to do a 100 proof single barrel, and we're going to do a Mash and Journey single barrel strength. So if I could get you to pop the seal on the Old Forester President's Choice that's closest to you, and you to do the one that says Mash and Journey.
There's not a chance I'm drinking all this, by the way.
Yeah, I don't expect you to drink it all, just a couple pours of each one. I don't want you to drink all of it.
this might be a little...
No, the Muffin Man?
Do you know the Muffin Man?
The Muffin Man.
So the Old Forester Bottle Shop barrel strength.
Yeah.
Did you try that already? Mm-hmm. I didn't know if you just popped the top or...
No, I had a small pour the other night.
Brett, do you have a knife on you?
I actually did not bring one for once
Just
in my
twist
life.
It's fine.
But
I will say
Mine's in the car.
my palate when I opened it was destroyed that day. So it was not a good day to test it.
Tell us what.
And it's already a hot...
I can't read that.
That's the B barrel.
Is that our
That he
pick?
gave us. Yeah,
Oh, sweet.
So, yeah, it was hot already. And just because, it's barrel strength Old Forester.
Right.
And then my palate was already destroyed with some spicy food that day. So
Yeah, I was just curious.
It was kind of a bad time to try it.
You're gonna have a bad time.
I love the first pour out of a bottle when it's like glug, 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 glug.
Yeah, that Hymen pour,
Yeah.
just breaking the Hymen on the bottle.
That's how I measure chemicals when I'm filling my sprayer.
How many
glugs?
How many glugs?
How many?
She
3
looks nice.
glug.
She needs an extra glug today.
Humana.
That's what it sounded like. He said, how many?
Oh, that's fantastic.
All right, let's kick off the little pod here with a drink of the 100 proof.
Bourbon Enthusiast.
Yeah, that's from the Bourbon Enthusiast. And I've had that for a little while. It might not last the night.
This was their most recent one they did?
It's been well loved.
I don't think so, because
Okay.
it doesn't say Bourbon Enthusiast in the...
excuse me.
In the thing, it has a Bourbon Enthusiast sticker.
Give me just a small one.
That's what she said.
Hey-o.
That's not bad.
All right, so let's talk about our barrel selection that we did the other day. So it was me, Brett, JD, and then Ronald Rankin, who has accompanied us on a couple of our trips down to the Bourbon Blitz, and then he's also been on a couple episodes as well.
Like Ron a lot.
Yeah, he's a
Yeah,
good guy.
I do. Ron's a good guy.
But we were supposed to have 2 people from Tartan Fields to join us down there.
Unfortunately, had to turn around because of call-offs.
That's what he said. I said, I hope those fucking call-offs.
I hope they got fired. I mean,
I
That's a
fired a guy
fireable offense.
Yeah.
I fired a guy today.
Oh, you
Oh,
did?
you
Really?
did.
Wow.
Damn.
Well, Troy did, but I.
But you
backed
sat
it.
there and like mocked him and heckled him while it was
Oh,
happening.
I told him 4 days ago. I said I'm fucking done with him.
That's crazy.
I do want to give a shout out to Barb, our guide,
Yeah,
on this.
yeah, I was
Barb
gonna talk about
was,
that too.
okay.
Barb
She
was
was
awesome.
amazing.
So if you've never done a barrel pick at Old Forester, it's a really cool experience because they give you a full VIP tour. So if you've ever done the VIP tour at Old Forester, that's how your barrel strength pick starts. And I can't remember. I think when we went to Lux Row, they asked us if we wanted to do a tour. We declined it that day because we had other stuff going on. And I can't remember any other place that's asked us if we wanted to do a tour when we did a barrel pick. So that was kind of unique.
Middle West did for us.
They did, yes,
But they're
that's
showing
true.
the new grounds.
Yeah, that
True
was
story.
that was more of showing us the new grounds. I agree. But that was a cool intro to the barrel pick. Kind of gets you in the mood for the barrel pick, gets you into bourbon mode. Like we started at 10:15, so like we didn't really sit down to start our first pour till like 11:15.
Wow.
And so there was placeholder for 6 people. If you've never done it at Old Forester, what they do is they give you the tour, and then you finish in their experimental rick house, which is on the premise there. And when you go around the rick house, there's like these metal graded walkways, like catwalks almost, up around the different levels of the rick house. And it's a square-shaped rick house that has the outer walls basically holding barrels, and then the middle section holds barrels, and then it's the either side of the middle is open, so you can just kind of walk in a circle around it. But as you're going around, the second level had a table that is where they do all of their barrel picks, and it was just a really neat setup because you're doing the barrel picks at a nice table that's kind of furnished and has all this stuff right in the middle of the rick house.
So question on that. The barrels that are in that rick house, obviously, that's not all Old Forester. What?
It is.
It is in that rick house. It is.
No, I'm saying like that's not all of Old Forester.
Oh, no.
has them.
No,
Correct. Yeah.
correct,
So
yeah.
Brown Foreman has their
Correct, yeah.
warehouses too.
yeah, correct.
But
So, is there a certain brand only or line only that is in there,
No, because they were 117.
or do they rotate them out? Like they're only those.
That was, she said that was their experimental rick house, and
Okay.
they had stickers on a couple of barrels that were Chris Morris's picks for the next 117.
Yeah, 4 barrels.
And they had blue tape on them, his initials 117 on it. I took a picture of that. And we were like, well, what's the significance of the blue tape? And Barb was like, for no one to touch it. So it was like, don't touch these barrels. These are basically claimed,
Yeah.
type of thing.
I thought about moving one of the tapes
Just like,
over one barrel.
whoosh.
That'd be
Oh, that'd
terrible.
be hilarious.
Yeah,
This tastes like shit.
this wasn't what I remember at all. But so that was a really cool, lead in to where you go to sit down and do your barrel pick. So for me, I think that was probably one of the better experiences I've had leading into a barrel pick. Because a lot of the places you just walk across the street, go to the rick house, you sit down, they've got a nice setup. Like Elijah Craig has a nice setup, Wild Turkey has a nice setup. But, there's real no, like, pomp and circumstance or anything leading up to it. You just basically go to the rick house that you're doing the pick in, or the private room like at Lux Row or somewhere like that, and you sit down and they have the samples ready for you. Some places have the barrels where you actually thieve out of the barrels. Wild Turkey does it that way. Elijah Craig does it that way. And she thieved out of the barrels, put them in the big containers, and then poured from there. That's how she did ours.
Didn't she say that they have some Kentucky barrels in there too?
She may have said that, yeah. I don't remember. I just remember that Brett pulled a Tyler there, and she had just got done saying there are 300 barrels here, and Brett goes, "How many barrels are in this place?" It was like a minute later, and I was like, "Are you effing kidding me?"
I was overwhelmed, okay?
Yeah.
It was pretty funny. So yeah, we sat down. She had Barb had 3 different barrels ready for us to go. We had selected ahead of time to do a 100 proof barrel because I just think that's where Old Forester shines. Honestly, I've had some really good barrel strength bottles, However, I just think that Old Forester is best at 100 proof. So that's and it gives you a little bit of a bigger yield, and so that was why I selected that. And everyone I've talked to has been like, "Yeah, that's the way to go." Like, no,
Well, it's a better price point for people too.
well, it's a better
bottles,
price point too. Yeah, it's like $20 cheaper or something like that per bottle.
And it is Old Forester's G spot.
True story.
I mean, I agree. That's what I just got done saying, Tyler. But we sat down. She had those big glasses. What did she call those?
Oh man,
They were Scottish. They were, but they were Scotch tasting glasses.
Aviators.
I don't think that was the right thing, but nice try. So, but she had a name for them. They were Scotch
Yes.
nosing
They were
glasses,
really cool
basically.
glasses.
They were pretty
Yeah.
cool. And
They
I
were
asked,
huge.
Yeah, they were huge. And I asked her if they had those, and she's like, "No, we don't. You can just go buy them on Amazon." She said. I was hoping they had something like that had Old Forester's name on it. That's what I forgot to do, was buy an Old Forester glass while I was there. So yeah, we went in and started our tasting. We had 3 barrels to choose from. The last one I had done with Bourbon Enthusiast, we had 3 also, and I felt like only one of them was actually worthy of a single barrel, and we all picked that one unanimously. And you were with me on that one,
Yeah.
Brett. And so they start off with your 86 proof. They pour it into your glass. It's kind of like your visceral, get your visceral reaction out of the way, get kind of bourbon on the tongue, get you used to tasting some bourbon, get their primary taste profile in your mouth, so you have kind of a barometer to start with.
Yeah.
Which I liked. I don't remember anyone else doing that either. Like Elijah Craig, you just go right into it. They didn't have an Elijah Craig, 94 proof to drink from or anything like that. So it was all in all, I thought they did some really unique things for the barrel pick, and the experience itself was really good. Barb was amazing. She had a lot of info on Old Forester. She had a lot of feedback. Like she sat back and let us do the tasting, let us do the decision making, but then at the end had told us that she picked the same one we did. And we had a tough decision. There were 3
We
good
really
picks.
did. Yeah.
They were.
We all eliminated the same one, but it was still a good pick.
It was good. I think it was just a little below the 2 because the other 2 were so outstanding.
Yeah.
For me,
was
that
it?
first one that we eliminated, the first initial sip was bananas and peanut butter.
Yeah.
And it was just like a really creaminess to it. I mean, it wasn't bad.
No, none
at
of them
all.
were bad. That's what
Yeah.
I was
But it was
really
probably
excited
the
about.
most Old Forester profile one that I think we had.
Yeah.
I would agree with that.
And I'd say the second one was probably the next close to Old Forester standard profile. And not that I didn't want to go so off profile that it was unrecognizable. I wanted it to have some sort of Old Forester notes to it. But the third one I thought was that. I thought the third one was exactly that.
Well, once you said you kind of got a wild turkey dusty note on it, I started to get a whole bunch of different
there
notes
was
on it.
Once I got dusty, I was like, okay, I'm getting Old Forester, but I'm getting like a funky, dusty Old Forester. To me, I felt like it could have almost have been like a President's Choice or something like that. You know what we didn't get, though? I don't think we ever got the age of our barrel, did we?
No, not to my knowledge.
But
So-
we did get the warehouse.
Yeah, we got the warehouse, but
We were both I2,
yeah.
2 and 3.
yeah, but we didn't get the age, and I'm upset that I forgot to ask the age. So, but yeah, we ended up choosing the third barrel, which
131.5.
And you said it
proof.
could be done a little sooner?
well, I was told. So when I talked to Barb, I said I was told October, and she says, yeah, that's probably right. But then when I talked to Jeff after the fact, this week, he said, well, I wouldn't be surprised if it's not at Giant Eagle by what did I tell you guys? August?
August, I think you
Yeah.
said, yeah.
So then does
So-
Tartan Fields pick it up from Giant Eagle?
No, they can go pick up theirs, their order, and then I would be picking up the rest. So
Okay.
like you guys all pay me, I go pay and pick it all up and put it in my car,
And hopefully he doesn't crash.
and then let everyone pick it up for me. So they said if you do it any other way, then it becomes a much bigger nightmare. Like we would have to hand in an Excel spreadsheet of all the people and then they have to go check that at the store before each person picks it up. So it's a lot easier if one person picks up the entire order that's not part of the wholesale part, and then distributes it themselves to the people that ordered it, because then it's just one person picking it up, and it makes it easier for the retail location.
Yeah.
So, which I think makes sense. We want to make it easier. I think it's easier for us too. And if we want to add any stickers or anything like that to it,
We can
that
at
would
that
give me the
point.
opportunity to do that before I give them to people.
I don't
So-
think we should do like a huge tater sticker, but something with like Bourbon Hunters, you know.
Yeah, I agree. That would be cool.
I was just thinking a long, slender sticker that can just go up the side
Yeah.
or something.
You like long, slender stuff?
Yeah,
So-
that's why we're friends. So, all right, let's dive into this first. This is a Bourbon Enthusiast 100 proof barrel selection from his private club. What do you guys get on the nose?
It's almost gone. What do you mean dive into it?
Sour candies.
Sour candies. All right. What do you get, Tyler?
Sour candy is pretty good, like a sweet tart.
I was getting more of like one of those sour gummy worm bags when you open it.
Yeah, like the fresh, like where you get a little bit of the sugar that's
Yep.
on top of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I was getting more fruit, but like a very like tart fruit.
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 Tart
Yeah,
fruit.
that'd be like a candy-ish kind of.
Yeah.
That's kind of that same smell you
Yeah.
get. Like it's a little fruity when you do that. I agree with that. Let's dive into the palate. What do you guys get?
It's got a great mouth experience.
Ooh, that's
It
good.
does, yeah. So the other thing that I will say, this pick for Old Forester that we did is available in Ohio. It'll be available, as I mentioned, in August or September. What I'm probably going to do is open it up for people to claim a bottle or two. I'm actually going to let people get two. So if you're listening to the podcast and you live in Ohio, reach out to me, info@bourbonhunters.com. Let me know that you want an Old Forester bottle or two. They are, I think, $50 retail here, $49.99 plus there's tax, plus we're going to put a sticker on it, so it'll probably end up being like $55 or $60, something like that. I'm just going to generically say 60. So if you are, I'll true up whenever I get the information. But if you are interested in doing that, let me know. Just know it'll be around that $60 mark. So
Will the Bourbon Hunters be in that big database at Old Forester now?
I think so, yeah, because
Cool.
it's not under Tartan Fields, it's under Bourbon Hunters.
Is that what will be on the bottle?
Yeah, it'll say Bourbon Hunters on the bottle,
Nice.
which is pretty cool.
That is really cool.
I mean, Tartan Fields is only getting like 6 or 12 of them, something like that. So I think it makes more sense. And they ended up not showing up for the pick.
I know that sucks.
You were there. You represented them. So,
I did. I'm from Tartan.
Yeah.
Oh.
So you did not wear your tartan, but I was
No.
looking
You had a
forward to
jacket
that.
on. Didn't you have a jacket on that said tartan?
I had a blue. Yeah.
Boom.
I
Done.
meant your
Represented.
I meant your actual tartan,
Shut up,
not
dude.
the shirt that says Tartan Fields. So, what do we all agree on the taste on this thing? Have we gone
So
all
I'm
the way
not
around?
getting the candy on the palate.
I had some like orangey, like citrusy.
I got citrus too, which is interesting. Yeah. The citrus is kind of muted though. It's a little light. It's not like in your face, but it's a good citrusy kind of taste to it.
Some mint.
Cement.
Some mint.
Cement.
Did you say
Cement.
cement?
It's very heavy. Cement.
Some
Cement.
mint. Got it.
Some mint.
So, what do we think? Pretty decent.
I would purchase this bottle again. Yes.
Yeah. Did you buy this one? Do you think?
I think so.
You usually get the 100 proofs when they come out from
Yeah.
Bourbon Enthusiast.
Yep.
I usually get any of the Old Foresters that come out, whether it's barrel strength or not, because I know that the barrel strengths, even if they come off as hot, you can
Proof
I'll
them down.
taste them that way, but you can
Yeah.
proof them down a little bit if you need to. So, all right, I think this was a pretty good intro into the evening. We're only going to go up from here on proof. The mash and journey that we just opened, what is that proof point, and what's the warehouse and all that stuff?
So it's Warehouse L, floor 3, and it is 131.1 in proof. So 65.55 ABV.
All right.
Now, my experience with a lot of these barrel proofs from Old Forester is that initially, like on a fresh pop, kind of hot.
Right, but then
Very
once they
hot.
oxidize a little bit, they're
very good,
They tame
yes.
down a decent amount.
I actually think this 100 proof. I mean, it's my first drink of the day, but drink's a little hotter.
Here's my other take on that, and I think that anytime, no matter how long the bottle's been open, if it's your first drink, of the evening, I feel like all the Old Foresters end up hot. But if you sit with it for a little while and drink it, like have a refill or something, I feel like that second glass is almost always
Money.
yeah, exactly.
Ah.
And it's almost, you have to get through that first glass because it is hot. It is, it's blowing up your taste buds. And then the next thing you know, when you get back to it, second glass, third glass, fourth glass, whatever, floor, then it tastes a little bit better.
I don't mean it in a bad way. 'Cause
No,
I've
I
never
know
been
exactly what you
disappointed
mean.
with an Old Forester.
I know exactly what you mean.
Is that what we're doing next, the mash and journey?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's jump into that one.
So I rinsed my glass, and you know how there's always just that little teeny bit of water in the bottom? I think I'm actually going to use that to my benefit
Yeah,
on this.
doesn't hurt.
It doesn't.
So, once we left Old Forester, it was a really good. It was pretty funny because I called Ronald a fuckbag in the middle of the tasting, and she just thought that was the funniest thing ever.
I don't know how much you want there, sir.
That is fine.
So as we're leaving Old Forester, she's like, walking us out, and she basically said to us, she's like, "Okay, guys, I need to ask you: are you interested in purchasing a President's Choice?"
Well, didn't you ask if they had any allocations coming out?
I did earlier in the tour
Okay.
when we were up high looking down over the gift shop. It looked like they had some boxes behind the counter, which they usually do, already in the gift
Yeah,
bags.
she looked down. She said, "Hey, there you got the Blue Label barrel
Yeah,
strength."
she
down
did.
there." And she's like, "Or
Well, but before that, I had said, "Oh, is that 117 behind the counter?" She's like, "No, we don't have 117 today." I was like, "Oh well." I was just hoping, coming down on a Friday to do a barrel pick, that they might have something,
Yeah.
special. And she just kind of let it go at that point. We let it go at that point. And then, but I think it was Brett that mentioned when you were down in the old Latex location,
yeah."
which is
I was
there's an
looking at
old
the President's
sex club
Choice.
in the basement of where they used to be, or where they are currently. One of the businesses previously was a sex club called Latex. So as we were walking around, I looked down into that area, asked if they had any 117. She said, "No, we don't have any 117 today," and she just let it go at that. But when we went down to that Latex section, during the tour, you pointed out that they had President's Choice up on that top shelf.
Yeah, Brett was looking at birthday bourbon. She
Yeah.
goes,
Yeah.
"Oh, you're looking at the birthday bourbon." I'm
But
like,
then-
"I'm looking at President's Choice."
And she goes, "Do you remember what she said?"
"No."
She's like, "Oh, you know what President's Choice is?"
Oh, yeah.
And we're like, "Oh, yeah, we know what President's Choice is." And then I told her the story about getting it at Bourbon and Beyond. Or no, Louder Than Life. And she goes, "Oh, have you popped into it or broke into it yet?" And I was like, "Oh, of course I have. I'm a drinker. I'm not a collector." And she's like, "Oh, that's good to hear. That's good to hear." And then at the end of everything, at the end of the whole thing, she goes, "I was testing you guys throughout the day, and I didn't know if I was going to offer this President's Choice to you guys." She's like, "But you guys aren't collectors, you're drinkers." She's like, "I wanted to offer you guys this President's Choice if you want it." And we were all like, "Hell yeah, we want some cheesy
Dude
poops."
goes, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, we both were kind of looked at each other and we were like, is she fucking with us? Or like,
Well, and going back to that earlier story, I called Ronald a fuckbag in the middle of our tasting, and she just fucking lost her shit, thought it was the funniest thing ever. And so as we were leaving, she goes, we're paying for it and everything. She told us that we had to call it Barb's Mint Julep instead of, because she didn't want anyone there knowing that they had President's Choice.
Because they'd
so,
riot.
so we had to order Barb's Mint Julep, and then they would give us that.
Don't take it out of the bag.
But
Don't
they
talk about it.
also had barrel strength, like a whole bunch of different barrel
Yeah.
strengths
Yeah.
to choose from, different locations and stuff. And I got one of them sitting over there somewhere.
I should have gotten a different one. I think a couple of us got the same one.
We
and I
got
should
the,
have.
what was
How
it?
much was the
I or K?
President's
We got
Choice?
K.
K.
Yeah.
You said it was like
Uh,
65 or something like that.
No.
50.
Oh, really?
Was
Yeah,
that
it was like
250?
two.
He's
Fucking.
I think it was
get
like
this.
230 or something.
She was saying goodbye to us at the end, and there was a group of people around, and we're all in a circle, and she goes, "Well, see you fuckbags later." And a guy from Old Forester walked by just as she was saying it and looks at her, and we're all laughing, and I think he realized, okay, it must be some inside joke or something. And then just kept walking, but like he looked at her like this, and then we all just died laughing after she just called us fuckbags. Like, you're calling customers fuckbags?
She was funny.
She was really good.
She was good.
She's now fired.
If anyone's watching or listening, I should say.
great nose on this.
Yeah.
I know. I get like a.
Peanutty. All. No, not a peanut. More of like a. Like a
And if
walnut
anybody's
or
wondering, Barb's Mint Julep is sold out.
I get a little bit of like a cinnamon on this, but it's not the big red gum cinnamon. It's more of the like,
Baking cinnamon.
yeah,
On
like
the-
a
on the
baking cinnamon.
nose?
Yeah,
like nutmeg.
Like a
It's
cinnamon
yeah,
stick?
yeah.
Oh, a nutmeg.
Like
yeah,
a
that's good.
cinnamon and like nutmeg maybe together, or like
Yeah,
a baking
not bad,
spice.
not bad. It's almost like someone who picked this knew what they were doing.
Oh, maybe somebody could put some insight into it.
You picked
Hi,
this?
guys.
Jackie Zycan was with you, wasn't she, when you picked this?
Yeah, Jackie Zykan
Oh,
was.
how long
Oh
ago
my
was
god,
this?
What's that?
You need a
long ago
pillow,
was
Brett?
this?
I do. I put a pillow on my lap real quick.
Yeah,
This is the
yeah,
this
20,
is the Zycan pick.
2022.
Yeah, yeah.
She, I remember it was her recommendation to leave this in the barrel another about 6 months before we took it out.
I remember
you
after
know
you
that?
went, it took
Yeah.
a while for it to come out. I do remember that.
She said leave it in the barrel another 6 months. A lot of that harshness that it has
Just get
will
rounded
start
out.
getting
Yeah.
rounded out, and it did.
It's good. It's probably one of my favorite barrel strengths. This is remember I got a second bottle because my first one showed up half empty.
What kind of talent is that, though, to be like, hey, give it 6 months in a barrel. It'll be good.
Experience, man. Just
I
like
mean, yeah,
knowing
when
your
you're, when you're
product.
tasting barrels constantly. I'm
Oh,
sure.
I get bubble gum.
Do you really?
Too.
Is that your new
Big
favorite
League
now?
Chew.
No, but I get it a lot.
It's
of
not like Hubba Bubba or Bubble Gum. It's like Big League Chew.
I'd say
On the
bubble
nose or the
yum.
palate?
On the nose.
Okay.
On the nose.
It's like pouring gasoline down your throat.
High octane.
We just went from 100 proof.
My body, yeah,
I get
hates Old Forester barrel proof. Like the tongue loves it. The second it goes down the throat, it's like just a fire up my throat.
Up, Chuck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Every
it does.
single
I
time
must
it
be an-
doesn't.
I must be an alcoholic because I think it tastes great.
It's
No,
awesome.
it's
amazing.
I didn't say it tastes bad. It tastes
No, I
great.
know what you're saying, but, like,
the
I don't get
second
that.
I just
Do you have
every
any
single
reflux
time
or anything?
I was gonna say it gives me a little reflux too.
I was going to
I'm
say,
not
like, if
getting
you have
any.
reflux,
but
I've
it's
heard
it's every Old Forester barrel
barrel
proof.
strength.
Yeah, this one when we picked it, she had recommended going 100 proof.
Yeah.
And as much as I agreed with her, our group,
Because everyone wants barrel strength.
well, also our group was a lot smaller at the time.
Yeah.
So we were able to do the barrel strength
less
and not
bottles
yeah.
and stuff like that.
So,
yeah.
Not piss everyone
but
off.
now we would totally go 100 proof
Yeah.
on it.
I mean, just like JD said, that's the G spot of
This
Forster.
when I first tasted this, it reminded me of that, the Stella D'Oro, the S cookies, the
Yeah.
almond S cookies.
Yeah.
Oh, dip it in the coffee.
That's what it reminds me of on the back end of it.
Yeah, that's not bad.
It might be the Majeska on my lips still, but I get like a sea salt caramel.
That's
Yeah,
definitely
probably
Majestic.
with a hint of marshmallow.
Yeah.
You know what? Now you say that.
Jesus, that's like me the day I had some meat stuck on my teeth or something, and I was like, meat.
Tastes like pepperoni.
I'm getting stir fry.
I got that
Weird.
meat.
Baby corns?
Yeah, something.
I haven't actually drank that pick in a while, so
Well,
Nice to
you can
come
tell.
back.
I'll tell you
I
what, the
just
nose is
opened it.
phenomenal.
yeah, that's what really kind of latched onto it because it made us latch onto it.
I got it half empty, if you remember.
Yeah.
Killed it immediately because you said you were going to give me a second bottle for like you have like backups for
Yeah,
if
yeah.
something shows up broken, and so I knowing I was getting a second bottle, I just went ahead and just killed it quickly. I was like, this is good. This is really good.
Tyler and Jason, do you want to try one of the barrels from our barrel pick?
Is that ours or is that one?
No,
of them?
that
No,
was
that's
that was my
one we were
favorite.
deciding
That
about.
was
yeah,
the
I-
runner-up.
Yeah, between
I definitely want
Yeah.
to have a sip of that.
This is
And that's barrel
cask
strength. Yeah, we didn't pick a cask strength. But
And I was told that the last couple birthday bourbons came from Warehouse High.
Yeah.
yeah,
I just want to point out this is the one I wanted.
you did, but then
But I
you,
changed.
but you
Jason, will you
actually
pour
were
me a-
pretty happy with.
Jason, will you
I
pour
was
me a small
happy.
one?
I was definitely
Just
happy
small
with the
one.
other one for sure.
Thanks.
I just I really really enjoyed that pick.
Thank you.
I
or
will
that
tell. I will
bot
tell
barrel.
you if
That
it,
was awesome.
If it was
I know.
if it was in barrel strength, if we hadn't already selected 100 proof, I would have probably gone with that one if
in
it
the
was
sea.
barrel strength.
Yeah.
If it was barrel strength, but as far as the
wow, a lot more tame on the nose, but in a good.
that's what I said too
Yeah.
on that one. I thought B was very tame on the nose.
Ooh,
See?
Yeah, as a barrel strength, it was outstanding.
Yeah.
But as at 100 proof, it just kind of lacked that. It tasted very much Old Forester, and I wanted something just a little different.
the only knock I would give this is that it gives me that. I have a very weird sensitivity to that forced heat cycled warehouse maturation.
Yeah.
and I get that slight like bitterness that I get from that on the back end of that. But other than that, that's a really nice barrel.
Yeah, I think we picked the right one.
The one we picked, we got
I
like
think
a
we picked the
raspberry
right
jam
one.
note on there. It was super.
That's
good.
real nice.
And it had
it's got no nose to it though.
Agree.
right. That was the knock on it. And imagine the 100 proof. It didn't have barely any notes.
I'm just gonna say, well, either the 100 proof's gonna
open.
it's gonna
some
have
stuff
nothing
up,
or open some
yeah.
stuff.
The one we picked tastes above its proof point.
Just a little.
I
bit.
had like a
Just little.
raspberry
It tasted
jam.
like a 110
Yeah.
or 107.
Had a jam note out of it.
And it,
Like
had,
super
and it had a
good.
little bit of a dustiness.
Like
to
a
it, which
turkey
was-
dusty note.
It was
Nice.
interesting.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That was and
Dude
this-
pointed that out.
And then Ronald was like, "Holy shit!" He's like, "This." He's like, "This is it." He hadn't had it yet, and as soon as I said "dusty note," he went to it right away, and he's like, "Oh my god!" He's like, "This is." And for me, it was. I would have been happy with these.
Who'd you do that pick through?
Jeff Fulham, the Ohio guy, but Tartan Fields is our sponsor.
Oh, okay, cool.
We're buying the whole barrel.
Oh well, hell yeah, you are.
You gonna get
We
some,
have to.
Jason?
We have to.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna buy a couple of your picks.
Yeah, let me know because I've got a spreadsheet. We have to buy them all, or we don't get the barrel. So
Yeah.
because it's an Ohio.
Hey, if you
release.
need to unload a bunch, Lorenzo already said he'll buy a bunch.
he can buy as many as he wants.
No,
man.
no. I'm putting a limit right now until because he's like, I'll buy 6 cases. I'm like, hold
my
up,
God.
hold up.
That's hilarious.
There's a member already that wants 2 cases from the club.
Yeah, and that's fine.
Nice.
I have no problem with Tartan people. I'd still
But-
like Tartan to do an evening
Yeah.
with Old Forester, which is up in the air.
And because of that, I said, Lorenzo, you might be able to get 2 cases.
Yeah, if Tartan does an evening with Old Forester, we would probably have to dedicate like.
We would have to
2
bring
or
a few
3
cases
cases
to see if people want to buy it.
Well, no, I think we make that part of the evening. You
Yeah.
buy that, and you also buy the bottle as part of the ticket.
Nice.
So it's already prepaid
And
for,
Chef could
pre-bought.
put like a,
I definitely think we should do that.
Yeah.
That
No,
evening.
well,
sure.
but it's
Would
not
would
our
Jeff do
decision
it?
is the problem.
would Jeff do that?
Yeah, he said he'd come
But-
up and do that. Yeah,
But here's
And
the
he
thing.
also said Whiskey
I
Pete
didn't
would
realize
come
this
too.
last
Okay.
time when
Jason, you're invited too for that event.
yeah, for sure.
All right.
Having all
when is it
these,
again?
I
having
don't know. Whenever we get the barrel.
Listen,
All right.
But
listen.
our chef will put like a meal together with it.
it's like a 5 or 6 course meal. It's
Yeah.
crazy.
Okay.
So they did it with Rabbit Hole, and it was tremendous, I guess. But
That
if
elk
you
tartare.
get Jeff,
Oh, nice.
who is from Brown Foreman,
Sounds
you get
fantastic.
Whiskey Pete, who is an ambassador. You get me, and then you get Jason. The amount of knowledge in that room would just be phenomenal.
Yeah.
Phenomenal.
It'd be a panel.
I mean, it would be like Fred Minnick cubed.
What are we saying here, guys?
Are we greasing any pockets?
I was just trying to be funny.
so
So,
it started to rain, so we went inside. But
holy shit! All right, so what
So
do we
for those
think?
of you listening, Tyler's just showing me pictures of
The house.
meats,
Oh,
Smoked meats.
smoked meats, potatoes.
Schvetty
Oh.
balls.
he ran
Gouda cheese.
a bourbon through an espresso machine and then poured it over ice cream, and it was one of the best.
Oh, this is
desserts.
from the rabbit hole meal.
Yeah.
Oh, you're showing him the evening with Rabbit.
Okay.
Hole.
Yeah.
So we were going to do something similar if they are up for it
Yep.
with Old
Oh,
Forester,
they'll
with
do
our
it.
pick.
Rabbit
Marcus,
Hole,
Marcus is all about that shit.
Rabbit Hole's so weird to me. It's like they want to project themselves as like an ultra luxury brand, but they don't have ultra luxury whiskey.
There's one
It's
I
so
really
weird.
like a lot.
But it's good. It's just it's
It's
not
okay.
ultra luxury.
have you tried the
Right.
Heretofore?
The what?
The Heretofore distillery release.
No.
It's really yummy.
It's like I
But-
don't know.
no, I
they
know
charge
what
like
you're saying.
15. They charge $2,500 for the Mizunor
Oh
finish.
yeah, I don't buy into that.
I mean, they have some really ridiculous prices. I'm not really sure what's happening with Rabbit Hole and their whole pricing structure.
Their
It's
distillery
weird.
select items, like the Heretofore is like a Cabernet, or no, it's a Australian sherry cask finish, and it's $50 for a 375. They do a rum finished, which is $50 for 375. It's just 375. It's
Yeah.
like Woodford Reserve.
Speaking of 375, Woodford Reserve just announced their toasted barrel
yeah.
that they're doing. It's a 375.
90.4
90.4
proof.
proof.
90 point, yeah. Always. They all
course.
are. So what do we guys? What overall? What do we think of this pick? This is the mash and
It
journey.
was really
uh,
tasty.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it opened up a little bit though.
What I was doing that I
A
think
couple
made it really
drops
good.
of water
Yeah.
Yeah.
completely make it like candy.
And you know what else really helps it is letting it break in shipping on the way to your house and having it half empty and it's partially oxidized by the time you get it.
I was taking a sip of water and leaving like just a teeny bit of water in my mouth and taking a drink of the bourbon.
That's a good trick.
And
I think that's a really cool trick.
Because I was afraid I would pour too much water, like doing that.
I usually pour to a cap first.
It makes such a difference.
Then, yeah, it does.
It just turns into candy.
Yeah.
I actually owe Jason a formal apology for something I blinded him with.
What?
Something you what with?
Blinded him with.
Oh, that was so fucking bad.
Oh God.
That was one of the worst whiskeys I've ever has
what
ever
did you say?
graced these lips.
That's ever great.
Did you do that on purpose?
No, but it just happened to be before my experimental barrel. But it was an Echo Spirits bourbon barrel strength, which is here
God.
local.
It tasted like granny panties
Oh God!
and mothballs,
Which is
and, like,
one step above diaper
Dirty diaper water.
Trash water.
So
Trash
I
water.
diaper trash
apologize.
water.
I think it was dirty diaper trash water.
I
That's what it was. It
was
was.
enjoying that flight right up until that sample.
Oh God, that just doesn't even.
That just
sound-
killed it for
But
me.
my experimental barrel was actually from White Dog till now.
Yeah, no, that ended up being pretty good.
And
I
you
liked
also
it.
had a little rum. You primed it with rum, right?
Captain Morgan private stock.
Yeah. So that probably
Yeah, it
helped.
definitely had a sweetness to it.
Right. That
Round it
probably
out.
helped round out the normal
the
white
corn.
dog small barrel type of roughness you get.
So is this the President's Choice you got?
Yeah.
And it's 12 years old?
Yeah.
So the one I brought,
9.
this is 9 years
It's
old.
not the same one I have, is it?
Oh, no.
No. The one beside it over here. I've got two.
Oh. Oh. No, but they're both 9 years old.
Yeah, that's why I was asking because you said 9 years old. All right.
Yeah.
So
And the 150?
what do we want to do? We want to go into the President's Choice now?
Yeah.
Let's
think
do
We've
it.
got three of them.
I
Yeah,
brought,
let's do
I'm not sure if you guys have had this. I brought the Old Forester
I think
150th
you've given
anniversary.
that to
Which one
us.
is that?
Is that there's 3 batches, right?
So this is batch 1, which was my favorite when I got to taste all 3. So I grabbed this one, and I figured since that's 12 years old, it might be a nice little comparison because this one has some good age to it for an Old
Nice.
Forester.
Okay.
So I don't know. I just grabbed it. I'm like, man, I haven't cracked this open in a really long time. So
I'm really excited about this President's Choice. It's 12 years old. I've never had anything
Me
from
too.
Old Forester that old.
well, except
Well,
for I'm wondering if it's going to have
1924.
that. I wonder if
well,
it's
that's yeah.
yeah. I wonder if it's going to have that acetone paint remover. Nail polish
Yeah.
remover note that I always get on ultra aged Old Forester stuff.
You can't
let's-
find
let's
anything
hope
about
they-
that one.
It looks dark, so let's hope
Yeah.
that they
It's brand
aged
new.
it in the cycle and then
and then
let it
moved
sit
out
somewhere else.
which
for a
they're
few-
doing. There's 2 rick houses now I think that are non heat cycled that they utilize.
One of the things that Barb said in our tour is that that the science behind letting things age naturally in a regular non-controlled warehouse, that their heat cycling imitates that just fine. I would disagree because the one thing that you're skipping is what? Oxidation.
Oh yeah, for
Over
sure.
time. Because you're doing all of the things. It's almost like the Texas, artificial heat, like that excess heat, and it's always hot.
The
Always
time
hot, always
frames. The time frames would be interested to know. Like, is it staying at one temperature like through nighttime and into the morning?
Yeah.
Because those are major temperature fluctuations in Kentucky that you're missing.
Yeah.
So if you're doing one specific temp through like a month,
and then off
and then
for a month,
and then off for a month, yeah,
right.
you're missing those fluctuations.
Right.
Which
That's
could-
something I don't know that I've heard anyone talk about what that process is like, what that heat
Yeah.
cycling process
I gotta
is
get
like.
someone from. I gotta get the master. I'm trying to get the master taster, the new master taster. From,
You weren't here for this. While we were doing our tour,
Mm-hmm.
they had a couple of barrels set aside with blue tape on it that said 117 cm. So it was Chris Morris.
Oh, okay.
And they were not to be touched. They were set aside, I think, for a
Yeah.
117 release. It was pretty cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. So let's jump into this President's Choice. Which one? Let's go from lowest to highest on ABV. Which one would be first?
Well, the one I brought is 55.5.
I think mine's probably the lowest.
Yours is
then.
48.15.
Yeah, my old one, I should
And
say.
then we have the 12-year one, which is 57.75.
So we'll go my old one, yours, and then my new one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds good to me.
Let's do that. All right, JD, you're the official, or well, you're not now. No longer the pourer. Jason just took over.
while you were in
So,
your
Brett,
phone.
did you tell him the good news about Russell's?
Yeah,
I
yeah,
did.
He told me on the way
Yeah.
down there, and I was like, "Son of a, that makes sense." I was like, "You're a fucking Russell
I'm
fanboy."
fucking ecstatic about that. By
like
the way,
if anyone, honest to God, like that
He's gonna
isn't,
appreciate it
like,
the most.
He's
Honestly,
going-
he's the first person that jumped in my head
Right,
you've
no,
been,
I've been there twice
You have a
now.
damn pick named after you.
I do. I went with you and Bourbon Enthusiast within like a month
Yeah.
of each other.
Dude, Special K.
He helped out with the Yellowstone, which ended up being one of the favorite picks of the year for the
Yeah.
group.
That was a good
That
pick.
Yellowstone.
Yeah.
So I was like, oh my god, I got to get Brett on. And
Yeah.
what's interesting too is you're also gonna help pick our first Russell's Reserve rye.
That's cool.
Yeah,
That's
I'm
cool.
so excited about
Which
because I
is-
like rye.
which
So
is-
two bourbons and one rye.
I'm glad he's going for that because I would not.
you wouldn't
Yeah.
probably
I wouldn't
appreciate
even
it
care.
as much. Yeah.
I mean, I'd probably enjoy it because I think isn't there rye a little bit less on the rye?
Oh yeah, it's
their
only
mash bill?
it's only about 52-53%.
That
Oh,
those
nice.
ryes I generally enjoy.
Yeah, yeah.
It's the high ryes that like 85 or 90.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, it
95.5.
comes off like a lot of the Russell's rye comes off like a bourbon. They're very citrus forward to me.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to try some different barrels
Mm-hmm.
and to see if there's a lot of that different.
like variation type of.
Yeah, like how variant do they get?
Yeah.
Like do they all come off
Peerless is a
citrus?
low rye percentage too,
Yeah.
right? Which is why
Yeah,
I think
Peerless
I like
ryes are
Peerless's
delicious,
Yeah.
Yeah, we sold out of the 3 Peerlesses that we released, and man, no, everyone is actually loving that rye.
I've got mine over there, and I'm trying not to go through them too fast because
Dude,
they were so good.
How good are they?
The one's like syrup. Like
The,
it's so
Ghost
thick.
Barrel?
Yes,
Yeah,
it's,
it is
oh,
like,
God.
yeah, it's thick in the
I think
mouth.
we did that with John Waddell or
Yeah.
Wadle. Sorry.
Wadle.
Yeah.
We did it with John Wadle on the podcast. It was so good.
Yeah.
So this one, guys, we're doing the first President's Choice of the evening. We've got it's a 9 Summers in barrel,
Nose is
and it's
ridiculous.
barrel number 21. Now, do you know? Does each one of these iterate? Is it like barrel number 21, then the next one's barrel number 22, or is this actually barrel number 21?
From what I read, because there's not a lot of information on President's Choice.
What's your barrel?
Mine is let's see, barrel number 8.
And then mine's 48, I think.
It's
my
48.
next one, yeah. So I wonder. I just
So
wonder. That's
recent history, President's Choice went away for a while.
all. Yeah.
And then they brought it back
Like, what,
recently.
2017
They brought
or
it back
something?
when Jackie
2018?
Zykin was there.
Okay.
So it's not like it's been that recent. So maybe there is an iteration where they're doing.
That's what I was wondering. I can't find anything about these on the internet.
Yeah, all I know too is because I had Jackie Zykin on a few times.
Yeah.
She said that the president does pick these barrels.
Except the one we have.
Oh, why? Who picked that one?
Campbell Brown.
Yeah, because there's no. What is it? What did she say? There's no acting president right now, or something like
but
that.
isn't Campbell Brown the president? I had him on the channel. It said president of Old Forester,
There was
but he's
some-
not
she
the
said-
acting president.
Something about him being like CEO, not president, or something
Okay.
like he
Too
wasn't.
young.
He didn't actually have the name. He was too young, or something. I don't know.
Okay.
The actual title wasn't president.
That
or
dude was
something
at
like
his
that.
brother's house I think in Europe when he was on my channel. He like opened up the buttons on his dress shirt and he took his brother's bottle of birthday bourbon and just opened it and poured it over like a giant block of ice. And all the viewers in the chat were like, "No!" It was so funny.
Hey, your bourbon, your way, man.
Right.
That's what I said.
That's the one thing I
I was like,
took
"He's the
from-
president, dude. He can do whatever he wants."
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm sure they're hurting for
Yeah.
for
This
that.
nose is ridiculous.
It is. I agree.
So this is my older President's Choice. This is the one that I got at Louder Than Life. Just happened to walk over.
Well, when you say older, you mean it's the one you've had previously.
I've had
Not-
previously.
yeah.
Yeah, of the
So,
two I
9
have, I've
years
had it
old.
since 21.
9 years old, barrel number 21, and 48.15% ABV.
It's like Fruity Pebbles and milk.
And I got this one.
I was going to say
in-
Fruity Pebbles
Do they,
too. No
do they
joke.
batch these?
These are single barrels.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. This is super fruit forward.
Yeah, the
For-
nose
for
on
an
it
Old
is
Forester.
very.
So do they only do one barrel of it for the year?
No, they
Okay.
do multiples a year,
Okay.
but each one is a single. Like each
Gotcha.
release
How many will they
is
do?
a single barrel. I don't know. I've heard 4 or 5, but I don't know.
okay.
I don't know if that's true or not.
I mean, that's still pretty damn low for the entire year.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
thing. There's no real number. We know certain releases are 3 or 4 a year.
You have ABV
We have
and you have
no
a barrel
i-
number.
no
and that's
idea.
about it.
Mine's like that. I'm happy.
Yeah.
Oh man, butterscotch.
Oh, there is a butterscotch.
I would
note in there.
imagine yours is not going to be like this because it's an extra 3 summers. This one, it says it's at least 143 months, which is just a month short of 12 years.
It's good, but I feel like I want more out of it.
I think I remember feeling the same way. Now, this is coming off of a
130 something.
right, and
Yeah,
this
I
is
get it.
only 90 some
Yeah,
proof.
the upchuck in this isn't as strong.
I think it's actually really good, but what you're missing, on this is that that long lingering finish. I think everything up to the finish on this is outstanding.
I agree. I love it's got a great texture.
Yeah.
It's sweet, but it loses me on the finish.
After I taste it, it's got like a savory note now.
Savory. We're getting a little rye in there. I mean, it is 18% rye for Old Forester, so it's not like it's a low rye.
Right.
It's high rye-ish, I guess.
And
for
what are they? 10% malted barley? Is that right?
Typical. Yeah, I believe so.
70 something, 18 something, 10 something like that.
I really like this
72,
one. I
18.
do.
How's this hitting your Prilosec meter?
I was going to say, is it gasoline
like
or is
that,
it like
the
low
Prilosec.
octane?
It's not as high.
Yeah, not
It's
as
like
high
a-
here.
You
it's
should
like
do
a
an animation
7.
on
It's like
your
87
on your
octane.
cast with a Prilosec meter.
Yeah.
That would be nice and purple.
Yeah,
Just
maybe I'll get a
purple-
sponsor out of it.
You know what did it to me the
Make
other
it look
night,
like one of
too?
those little things that's like a fundraiser with the bulb at the bottom and the Prilosec meter. It goes up and down based on the
Yeah.
upchuck.
I don't. So the other night I cracked open our Middle West Spirits
Yeah.
rye pick. It did the same thing to me, which was really weird because that didn't happen at all while we were picking it. And I
It's
cracked
called,
it. And
it's
just
called
like,
getting older, buddy.
I was
I
like,
got to take a Prilosec like,
From the box,
every
from
other
the most
night.
recent
Right.
one we did?
yeah,
Yeah, remember he took the
Yeah.
pick home.
yeah. I cracked it. I was like, I wonder how I'll like it today. You know what I mean?
Because we picked number
One.
I picked number 2, but yeah, number 1.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think this is
Sam
real.
and
Like I
picked
said,
number 2.
I think you two are the ones that I
yeah,
think
this
I
is
was
front and mid palate. This
front
thing
and mid,
is
yeah.
pretty damn
And then
good.
it- then it
but
dies
It
off.
just
Yeah,
dies.
I agree with that.
What's
All
the
right,
proof
what's-
on this one?
It's 96.
Yeah.
I wanted
or something,
speaking
97.
of Middle West, I wanted to bring you guys a bottle that I got. Have you ever heard of Two Souls?
You told us about it. Didn't someone order that after being here? Martel, maybe.
Maybe Martel did.
I think he ordered it and then tagged you about ordering it. and
Oh,
saying-
that's right.
Yeah.
yeah. They reached out to me today. I guess they found out my review and they were wondering like, why did the bottle sell out like that night? So I was talking about it on my stream,
Yeah.
and I wanted to bring that to taste it, but it wouldn't have kind of
Crazy
jived with
how
all this
that
Old
can
Forester.
affect it, huh?
Crazy, right?
Yeah. Maybe they should think about stuff like
Well,
that.
they like sent me a thank you note and said, hey, we have some other barrels that we have hanging around if you want to try, like something from Watershed they did, then a couple of other ones. I was like, okay, you can send me samples.
Yeah, send me samples.
But but that barrel right now, that bottle is probably my rye of the year right now. It's that
shit.
good.
Really?
A double barreled 5-year
With a
pumpernickel
pumpernickel rye.
Oh my god,
Yeah.
it is ridiculous.
So where does Middle West Spirits play into that?
So they provided
It's
them
their
with
pumpernickel
the,
rye.
Oh,
it's their pumpernickel rye.
Gotcha.
So I think it was like I think it was a little over 4 years or something like that, 4.5, and then they threw it in a smaller double barrel to mature, and then it hit a full 5 years, and then they bottled it.
And they did another one with a different bourbon. It wasn't a Middle
Yeah.
West Spirits bourbon. And Martel ended up buying both of those. I haven't heard what he thought about
dude,
them.
I fucking love Middle West Spirits rye.
Oh, yeah.
It's so unique.
Yeah.
It's
It
We're
is
picking
really
we're
good.
picking one finally on June
We just picked one last week.
21st, I think.
Nice.
We
Ready
picked
to
one.
open your
We're
8-year yet?
Yeah.
Do what?
But
you
ours
open
is
your
going to be
8-year?
local in their bottle shop.
We're
Yours
doing
will be-
High West in the morning.
Oh, wow.
We're doing a double oaked. First pick High West is ever bottling outside of Ohio.
That's awesome.
So we're doing that in the morning, and then we're going to we're hoping to get a ported pumpernickel rye pick.
Ported. Ooh,
Yeah,
That's cool.
that'd be cool.
I know.
That'd,
We'll
be,
see.
that'd be unique.
Cask strength?
Cast strength.
The only
Nice.
person I've ever seen do a ported pumpernickel rye was Cameron Mitchell.
Yeah.
They did it for their 25th anniversary
So we're gonna see
Of
if
being around.
we
I
can
tried
get
one in
of
mine,
those,
waiting
you
for
know.
the 8-year.
of the Cameron Mitchell one.
No, that cask strength. pour.
Oh, I've got one here too. If you want one,
Yeah, so we'll see. See how it goes.
they're good. I think.
Yeah, you guys are invited to come down to Middle West and hang out if you're around that day.
Awesome.
So
What day is it?
June 21st.
Is that a
It's a fr-
Tuesday?
It's a Friday.
That's what I
okay.
said.
Yeah.
That's what I said. I will be just getting back from Vegas, so yeah, I could probably come down for that.
Oh yeah. All right. Yeah. That's
Let's go
Good.
into yours was next, right?
Yeah, so, 55.5 ABV. Let's get into this one.
I will be free that day.
Don't forget to. I've got a glass for you before you leave.
Ooh.
So.
Oh, those are your...
I love those
Those are the ones
glasses.
you like from the Squatty Potty.
Yeah, from Bardstown.
Bardstown, yeah.
I fell in love with those, and then I was like, I got to find those, and I finally tracked them down. They have yours too at that place. It's distillery products. But
Okay.
They,
Oh,
had,
yeah,
they
I've
didn't have
seen
it
that
originally,
stuff.
but now they have it.
I'm going to have to get some of those. I like that Wobblers.
I like working.
Is that what they're called? Wobblers?
Is this signed?
I think it's a... Oh, yeah, it is signed.
I don't know by who. It looks
I
like
think
it's kind of
Camel Brown.
Probably
Okay.
the president.
Is
looks-
it Jackie? Can I have it? No, I'm kidding. Can I have the empty bottle to take home?
You need to put the pillow over your pants again right now. You're wearing shorts.
I've kind of
Brett's camping.
grown over Jackie.
You
That ship
kind
has
of have,
sailed.
but then every time her name comes up,
Something else comes
there's
up.
some other things that happen.
Did you do your Frey Ranch pick yet?
Yeah.
Oh God,
Yeah.
Tyler. We've
What?
got.
What?
Well, we've just got corks missing. They're all over the place. I don't know.
How's that my fault?
We're good.
I don't know. It's not.
These are
But I'm blaming
interchangeable.
you. I'm blaming you.
Dude, how's your work not fired you yet? I thought about that the other day. I was
What
like,
do you mean?
it's
What?
Just like the amount of like barrel picks that
On
you have
site
to,
barrel
like,
picks out of town.
out of town. Like it's not like once a month. It's like
Do you use vacation to do those?
So,
Or
what-
how
so-
many grandparents have you had die? Like that's the,
yeah.
So where I work, there's no limit to vacation days
Oh, you have flex time off?
because the amount of time that I've been there.
yeah.
Because they couple my years before the company bought the previous company.
Oh, that
so
makes a lot
technically
of
I've been
sense.
there for like 25
So
years.
as long as it's
Oh,
approved,
Okay.
then you
Yeah.
can go wherever.
And my director, she knows the deal, so she's
Oh,
really
does
cool
she? Does she
about it.
know what you do?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Oh, nice.
That's cool.
I try not to talk about it too much, but
Yeah, yeah.
I go to her and I tell her, I'm like, look, I'm doing this. She totally gets it. As long as it's not a certain part of the year, I'm good.
Sure.
So I make sure I front load all my picks in the beginning of the year and
Yeah.
also the back part of the year, because once I hit like summertime, it's really hard for me to get any time. So
Interesting.
yeah,
I know every company has that, like that time. That's like, nope, we're not approving it. Not
Yeah.
during this time.
Yep.
That's interesting. Okay.
Yep.
Like Apple, it's like that October. when all their new products come out and stuff like that. All right, let's nose this. What do you guys? So this is the President's Choice that Jason brought over. What are the details on this? It's also 9 summers.
yeah. So this is 9 Summers, barrel number 8, 55.5% ABV. So you're right at
110.
111.
Oh, 55.5. Oh,
Yeah,
111. Yeah.
111.
Nice. But it goes to 111.
Just
111.
Did you hear that? I don't know how true this is, but I've heard they're going to make a Spinal Tap 2.
What? Oh, I hope that happens.
Oh, me too.
There are a lot of movies that I hope doesn't like that they don't remake.
Like, there's some they rush to remake,
Yeah.
and then there's some that they make like later on down the road where they've had time to really think about a good, cast, a good
Yeah.
script. They've had a time to they've denied some and said no, that's stupid.
And there's few movies that the sequel is actually better than the original.
Yeah,
Doesn't happen often.
But it doesn't even. I don't even care if it is better than the original. What I do like about a sequel, as long as it's good, because the sequel can usually hit the ground running. You don't have to build any, character profiles, things like that. You can just. Everyone knows everyone. You can just kind of hit the ground running. It doesn't have to be as good, but it needs to still be good.
I agree.
What do you think of the Ed Helms Vacation remake?
I thought it was not good. I thought there were some good nods and some decent scenes. There were some funny parts to it.
Yeah, but
it felt like it was forced.
Not needed.
Yeah, that's a better phrase.
Yeah.
Not needed.
I just know it's hard to recreate Chevy Chase and his
There-
improv magic.
When they
slapstick
stayed,
like humor.
when they
Yes.
stayed at the house of the, was it one of the, who's Thor? What's his last name? Who plays Thor?
Helmsworth, Chris Helmsworth.
Yeah, when they stayed at the House of Helmsworth, the House of Helmsworth. That sounds like a show.
Yeah, it
The
does.
House of Helmsworth. And he was like, like his penis was like right there. I think he was wearing like shorts, and there was just this big bulge in her face or something like that, or in Ed Helms' face or something. I don't remember 100% how it went. I just remember that being a funny scene. But the movie itself was just okay. I think one of the better parts was Chevy Chase having a cameo, later on, because I didn't know that was going to happen. So I was a little surprised by that. But I think he has done his best work since any of that stuff in Parks and Rec. Not
Yeah.
Parks and Rec.
Not
Community.
Parks and Rec, Community.
He was pretty good in Community. What do you guys get on this one?
Community's a great show.
Nose,
The
I
nose
get,
is
I
a
get
little
that.
less muted.
Well, I get that
muted?
same.
It's- I'm
same
sorry.
kind of fruity pebbles.
It's the
type
nose
of-
is less.
got a
It's a
fruit
little
roll-up.
muted.
fruit roll up. But I was going to say I still get that fruitiness.
This is darker, oakier, but also on the finish, it's more drying. I feel
I'm
like
getting
it's
Oh,
something
yeah,
like
this is
how
a lot
about
more
fruit
oaky.
by the foot.
Yeah, I think it's a lot more oaky on the palate, and I think
Yeah.
it actually
do you
dries
like
out
that
a
or
lot
do you
more.
not?
It
like
is
that?
drying. I agree.
I don't mind the oaky part of it, but when it
Just
dries you out like
over-tannic.
that, it's a little bit over tannic. Yeah,
So like these aren't barrel strength, right?
I'm not.
No.
Yeah,
Are they?
They are.
Are they?
I'm pretty sure.
yeah, they're barrel strength.
Okay.
So that 98 was barrel strength.
Yeah, I mean, I assume so. I
Yeah,
don't,
President's Choice barrels are aged all over the place, and basically it's like
You
you
get
give
what
them
you
to the
get.
president,
Yeah.
and he tastes through them, and he, just picks
what he
wants.
likes. Yeah.
So even if it's 98 proof, it's barrel proof.
If,
That-
if
that
that's the
happens.
one he likes the
I mean,
best,
it makes sense for the
it gets
viscosity of
picked.
it.
I mean, well, it makes sense in a lot of ways if you're like that. It's not been watered down. You mean?
This on the meter is a solid 9 out of 10.
On the reflux meter.
Yeah.
the reflux meter. Yeah, I don't think so.
See, I'm not getting the drying you're talking
I
about. I
do.
get the oakiness.
I
but
get the drying.
I get that.
Let me
Yeah,
go back to
like
it.
a white, like a red wine.
Sweet oak, little
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Like
a
a-
good
like a red wine.
That's actually really good.
I yeah. I got
descriptor.
like a grape note.
yeah.
It's not drying to
It's that
me.
tannic like a red wine for sure too. I mean, I like red wine.
I do too. Maybe that's why I don't.
I like the flavors in this one more than the
I-
one we just had.
Yes,
I
I
like
would.
that it's
I would
darker,
agree with that. There's a lot
it's
more.
richer.
There's a lot more on the spectrum of flavors.
Yes.
It's the one we had that was mine had a good front, good middle, but it was pretty like right down the tunnel. This one feels like you're running down the fucking meadow with your arms wide open. You know what I mean? There's like a lot of flavors
It's a
happening.
little more complex.
It's
Yeah.
like a slow motion
Listen.
dude video.
Don't fucking use words that make more sense than me. My running through a meadow with your arms wide open is the best way you could have described it. And then you come in with complex.
You and me, and me and you.
No, I think this does have a much more complex, dickhead, flavor to it. But seriously, like this one, this has a lot of good flavors happening. And I think it has a better finish than mine, too.
I think it has a better finish
yeah,
too.
it tastes older too,
It does.
just because that
Hey,
oakiness to me.
it's 9.5 summers. It just says it.
a half summer.
And a half summers.
It,
That
it
half
says at
summer did
least.
it.
It was the half summer.
It doesn't go to 10.
But it was probably in a maybe like middle Rick versus mine being on a high Rick or something like that.
It's tasty.
This is really good. Yeah.
That's a good one. That one I took a shot in the dark in.
Where did you get it? Did you
I
buy it
heard-
online or?
Yeah, I bought that one online. I heard that this particular release was really good, so
How do you
I,
buy it online?
I grabbed it.
Secrets.
You know people.
Yeah,
Online.
I had a buddy grab one for me because he was in Kentucky, and he's like, "Hey, can you check if there's any more of those?" And he grabbed me one, so I was like, "Okay." My first present. It's actually the first present choice I ever bought.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
I'll
And
tell
I-
you.
and I haven't been lucky enough to get another one since.
These are more elusive than
Listen,
bourbon.
speaking of lucky,
Are they
much.
really? Yeah, that's
both
crazy
of
to me.
mine, I didn't have to search. They just fell in our lap, right? Like, I mean, I'm so excited
That's
that.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
I had my first birthday bourbon taste about 2 weeks ago. It was a 2020.
We had a birthday bourbon with
I'm-
Quinn, didn't we?
Yes.
I'm actually excited for this year's birthday bourbon because
Yeah.
it's supposed to be, and I don't really get excited about birthday bourbons. I think
Right.
they're one of the most overhyped, overpriced bottles on the planet.
You liked them a few years
It's a
ago.
cool
though,
bottle
right?
though, for sure.
yeah, but dude, it's
Yeah,
like
that's-
okay,
that's
I'm
a
paying for the bottle shape.
No, I'm saying like the bottle's a cool bottle. Like
It's
I
a
would
cool
give it that.
bottle.
That's like on Willet.
You can get 13th Colony, same shape.
I mean, that's true.
a little bit taller.
But you used to
yeah.
like the older birthday bourbons,
I like
right?
the older birthday bourbons. But a lot of the recent ones have been mediocre at best. Last year's I thought was terrible. Not terrible, but just not worth all the hype. And the previous years, I think the last good one I really loved was the 2018 one, and I think 2019 was actually a very sweet profile, which I
Yeah,
enjoyed.
there was one in around 2019, 2020.
Yeah.
What
I
did you
thought
think of
that was-
2020?
You didn't like it?
No,
It was all right.
that was my first taste of it, and I thought it was really good. But
it was okay.
I don't have anything to put it up against.
Well, that's the thing. Like, you try some other stuff, you're just like, and then there was that 1 year. Was that the Yellow Label one? The 10-year one? That tasted, it was like tropical almost.
No, 12 year.
That was a Well, the last one they did a 12-year was a 2018.
Was it?
Well, then that one was really good.
Oh, okay.
The purple one was an 11-year. Then they
Yes.
did a yellow one, which is 10-year.
And that was the complaint is it felt like it was getting
It was getting younger
less and
and,
less,
and lower
yeah,
proof
age.
too.
Yeah.
They were all like dipping
Aren't they
below
like
100
6 and
proof.
8 year now?
Well, this year it's supposed to be a 12-year at 107 proof.
Didn't they change warehouses where they come from?
Well, they do every year.
Oh, they do every year.
it's
Okay.
It's a blend of
it's a blend of
Gotcha.
whatever Chris Morris, put
With
together
their-
in his alchemy.
think of yourself when you're in your like crazy lab doing your mixtures.
Yeah,
That's what he's doing,
What-
but professionally.
What are your thoughts on Buffalo Trace's release of their
Millennium.
yeah.
Millennium.
Yeah.
It's bullshit.
You think it'll be good whiskey though?
What's interesting though is that I feel like
The two people I've heard actually said it was very good.
I'm sure it's very good,
but it's just crazy
But I'm
expensive.
sure.
It's Stitzel Weller,
I
right?
feel like there's a shift.
No.
There's a shift in Buffalo Trace where Pappy has almost become the better buy. I'm not saying Rarity Rise is still really hard to find, but I think they've gone all in on Weller and building up the luxury status. Remember, and it's an interesting microcosm of what Buffalo Trace does because Weller for so long was a budget bourbon on the shelf. It was a low shelfer,
Well, they only had
$30.
like 3 offerings until like 4 years ago.
And then it starts building up. They keep adding more to it, more and more and more. And then we have the Daniel Weller. Now we have the Weller Millennium, and it goes from like
Well, that's not even a bourbon.
$500-$600.
That's a wheat whiskey mixed with.
That's my
It's
question
a wheat
for you.
whiskey mixed with a wheated
wheat
bourbon.
Yeah.
Do you think they know that they got all these people roped into having
They do.
the lineup,
Absolutely.
and now they're adding more and more Weller product because they're I gotta have
so
the
here's,
whole lineup.
Here's my take on all this. They're doing two things that almost contradict each other. They're still keeping the Weller price line MSRP cheap. It's cheap. It's cheap bourbon. Like 12 years, what, $50? 107's 54 or 57.
Yep.
Weller Special Reserves in the 20s. They're all cheap.
This one's $7,500.
Right. But
Yeah.
that's where I was going to say is they know what they have. So when they release Daniel Weller, what was its MSRP? 500?
That was 500, I think.
And then Millennium is 7,500.
Wouldn't you rather have an OFC?
I mean,
I wouldn't rather have any of them. The one I did get to try an OFC. I was at a bar with a bunch of people, and we all collectively put our funds together to get a 2-ounce pour so we could kind of share it around and taste it.
it's kind of like what we did with that
Well,
King of Kentucky.
Yeah.
Well, Quentin has one.
What do you think of it?
He has a what? OFC?
Yeah, OFC. So the OFC texturally is probably one of the more impressive. That bottle, that lower proof, the texture of it is incredible. It is like
it's
velvet.
bottom floor.
It is velvet. It's very, very sweet, as
Yeah.
you would think. But for that amount of money, no, you're paying for the bottle, the box.
What was a 2-ounce pour?
The name.
I don't even remember. I know it was a couple $100.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to say Quinn at
Xenos.
Zeno's. It was maybe $125 for like a half ounce or $100 for a half ounce.
So now
or
this
something
Weller,
like that.
I just like the whole thing is just annoying to me. It's like Buffalo Trace makes this whole pomp and circumstance. Daniel Weller, Weller Millennium. Look at what we've made. Look at the box. Look at that. But like 95% of people will never ever see a bottle.
Right.
And that's what annoys me. It's like they make this whole this whole dog and pony show for nothing.
Well, let me ask you this. So
Yeah.
Well, to them it's
hold on.
something.
You're
To
right.
them it-
You're right. It's like,
to them it-
here's
to them
the
it's-
Baccarat
to them it's
bottle, and it's like, oh, great,
To them it's
100 people will get
To them
this.
it's marketing, and I
but
get
hold
it.
on. Perspective-wise, do Scotch distilleries not do the same thing for certain things, like special releases that are unattainable but also very expensive?
Yeah, they do, but at the same time, Weller was when it was brought to the market, it was a budget bottle of bourbon.
But it
So
has,
they have taken that and just completely thrown out the window.
But in their defense, and I'm not necessarily defending them, just being,
Dude.
an opposite point of view,
Yeah.
and I'm being myself. When they were a budget whiskey, they were still a good whiskey.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they were just a good whiskey at a really cheap price. But, like, for example, Early Times Bottled and Bond. really good for the price.
Yeah.
But I wouldn't say that it's Weller Antique good. Weller Antique at some point was like $30 a bottle, right?
I never really liked Weller
Before
Antique, though.
before it bumped up. You're in the
Minority, I know.
because of my Weller experiences, Foolproof and Antique are probably my two favorites.
I think Weller Antique's my favorite out of the whole lineup.
And Foolproof can be like, especially the
Me too.
They can
Foolproof
be
for me is either really
it's either
good
really
or
good
very
really bad.
mediocre.
Yeah. I agreed. And so that's where I was going with that. But like, did they overproduce something that was exceptional for the price and realize, we need to adjust for the market because this was so good, we underpriced it. And I feel like they did that. They adjusted their. I don't think 107 is unreasonable at $50-some.
This has nothing to do with the core lineup.
Right, but my point.
But when you go from your highest value bottle being about $100 to $7,500, now I know there's 20-something-year-old
William
whiskey
LaRue
in it.
Weller is a BTAC, and that's understood to be, the same juice.
Yeah, but everything is like coming like Stag now. You could get a bottle of George C. Stag on secondary and resale market now for about $700.
Yeah.
You don't.
That's
you don't have
dropped
to.
off for
yeah,
sure.
It's very drop. It's very much. Dropped
Everybody
off.
I know who's tried a Daniel Weller has said that it's underwhelming.
It's very underwhelming. I got to try it.
That's why they call it Daniel Weller.
Yeah.
And not Dude Weller.
No, as opposed to
I got to-
as opposed to just Weller is my point.
I
But
got
it's
to.
a part
I got
of
to
the
try it.
lineup.
I got to try it in Dayton.
Yeah.
At the.
It's awesome.
What's that bar?
Century
Century
Bar.
Bar.
Yeah.
And it was like it was a very fruit forward weeded bourbon, but on the palate there was really nothing to it. It was
Yeah.
like okay.
And it's the most expensive one besides now Millennium.
Yeah, Millennium is. It's just one of those things where you see the posts that Buffalo Trace does, and then you read the comments, and it's the constant comment of, "Great, never see one. Thanks for this ridiculous price point."
Yeah.
It's just stupid.
But it's just like OFC. It's just like
Yeah, it's just
what's the
stupid.
Brown Foreman thing they just released? That's
the decanter ones.
625 bottles.
And that seems cheap compared to what Buffalo Trace is doing.
Oh, I thought that was $10,000.
No.
Are you sure?
There's one that's $10,000.
I'm pretty sure they just did a Brown Foreman release.
It's-
It's only 625 bottles. 500 of
Oh,
them
yes,
went to the Brown Foreman
I
family.
did see that.
And only 125 are going to be released
Yeah,
to the public.
I did see
and that's
that.
like $10,000 a bottle.
Yeah.
But in their defense, a lot of that is going to charity.
Yeah.
So that was a charity bottle, but still 500 of
them
them went to the
kids.
family.
No, the Brown Foreman decanter was like $2,500.
Yeah, it was like 2,500.
Maybe it was, okay. Maybe
think
I'm
you think
misremembering.
Millennium?
No, this is
You
a
think
different one from that.
You think Millennium? Any of that is going to charity?
So you
Probably not,
You
no.
said that, or you've mentioned.
Yeah.
Good?
Yeah.
12-year.
I haven't done it yet. So, hey, let me introduce this before Tyler asks this question. Sorry. So this is the one we got after our barrel pick.
I'm so happy.
It is the first year of non-handwritten label.
Yeah, she told us that. It's like
Yeah.
printed now.
It's printed. You have to look. It's
Really?
printed versus handwritten.
That's printed text.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but I'm
interesting.
sure they used a font that look. But you can tell when you look at it.
Yeah, it's definitely a braggadocio font.
12 Summers.
Looks handwritten.
It doesn't even look that handwritten, to be
Yeah.
honest, if you really look at it. It's 12 Summers, and it's barrel number 48, 57.75 alcohol by volume. Someone do the math for that real quick.
What is it?
57.75, so that's 105?
150.
No, 114.
Yeah,
That's what I said.
114.
114.5. 115.5.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there you go.
Fuckers.
115.5.
I like.
I came in low, and then I fixed it. I fixed it.
So this has not been released yet. This is
No, it's released.
I think it's been released. We were told we were of the first group of people to get it.
the day before we were there,
That's
they
hot.
released some in the gift shop.
Is it hot?
That's
And
hot.
some-
No, I'm just saying that's hot.
Oh,
Some
That's
people,
you're Paris Hilton.
I have seen
That's hot.
on
That's hot.
CBX people selling it for an EHT barrel proof batch 12 and 400.
Which is dumb.
I forgot to tell you this. Side note,
Oh,
Heath was in Washington in a podunk town and went to a gas
DC
station.
or Washington State?
State.
Okay.
Grabbed two
Yeah.
Eagle Rare 1.75s.
And he told me he got the big 1.75
Yes.
Eagle Rare.
that
and
I didn't
you get
know
that
where
at the
though.
end.
and
I saw him on Saturday.
E.H. Taylor single
finish.
barrel all at MSRP.
MSRP, yeah.
Crazy.
Did you get to see him on Saturday?
No.
Did you not go?
No, I was moving.
Oh, you asked me if I was going to be there.
Yeah, I thought there might be a chance I could go.
Oh, I was like, you asked me I'm going to be somewhere. That's the assumption you're also
Yeah.
going to be there. But yeah, I talked to Heath for a good 15, 20 minutes.
Nice.
Just me and him, just sitting there talking.
I know.
Telling him about the
That's
Old Forester.
tasty.
That's
I
nice.
What do you guys get on the nose? We haven't talked about the nose
So
yet.
I do get that acetone note
on the
this.
nose.
On
I
the
did
nose.
too, actually. That was my first. That was
That
my
nail
first
polish
thing.
remover note.
Yeah,
But I also get a ton of cherry.
I do get the cherry.
Yeah, I get cherries.
But
I've had a drink, so my nose is fucked right now. I can tell you that.
You've had a what?
I had a sip of it, a drink,
Oh,
and I feel like that, like
It changes.
it lingers.
It
It
changes.
changes. It lingers.
So I get like
like
a pie
that.
crust.
You okay, Tyler?
Dude, I don't know why this bourbon does this to me.
You need.
What did you eat today?
He needs.
Did you have
antacid.
hot honey pepperoni pizza?
Oh, right.
I was gonna say the same thing.
I had a teriyaki bowl.
We have already decided. We've already decided this year that's not happening.
No.
There's no hot honey pizza on the menu this December.
Yeah, no.
That is. I'll
That's
tell you
off,
what though.
That's off the rails.
That's good.
I get like Propel.
I'm pretty pumped about this
Really?
year. I've got some good plans this year. I think that everyone's going to have. I think we're going to have a great time this year.
Wow.
I get a lot of oak on the palate.
Yeah, but
I get
it's
like a
evolved from
butterscotch in there. I get like a toffee at the end.
I get sweet tots. Sweet tots.
Really?
I get
Tart
sweet
That's what it
tarts,
might be what I'm
oak,
smelling.
butterscotch. I get all of everything. What you guys, butterscotch, oak, sweet tarts. I get a lot of that. There's a lot happening here.
There's a lot happening here. This is well beyond the other two.
I'm
and
glad.
what's nice is this has the front, mid, and it's got a great finish.
The finish just lingers.
Now it is
There's
the
like an
highest proof
aroma.
of the three.
Just lingers.
I mean, but not
Yeah.
like
Ooh,
by
there's
not by
linger?
much. Not
No,
by
not
much.
not a ton.
I mean, the one before it was only 55. This is 57.
This just
finish,
lingers,
what's
man.
on the finish? There's
God,
something.
there's I
There's
get
something
it.
on the finish that's like I can't put my finger
yeah.
on it. That's like so recognizable, but I cannot figure out what it is.
This is a good
The
bottle.
finish is where I get the
The
sweet tart.
Minute Maid cherry triangle box.
Where do you get this
Popsicle.
fucking shit?
The what?
You know those in the cardboard
Yes.
triangle
I know
box.
what you're talking
the
about.
cherry Minute Maid
It's
popsicles.
almost- They're like weirdly shaped.
Yes.
No,
squeeze 'em.
this is what it is. I'm gonna blow your mind right now. It's not a raisin. It's not a cranberry, but it's a craisin.
A
craisin.
craisin.
Because
I
it's
could-
tart. It's tart, but it's also like a dark fruit to it on the back end. It's
dark-
that
a dark
combination.
what?
Fruit? A fruit?
I was waiting for that.
Tyler's like,
Dark-
do you
dark
get acid and fire?
Yeah.
Do you get like?
He's like,
all I taste.
all I taste is pain.
A little bit of stomach acid.
You get throw up?
That finish is so divine.
I get a little bit of stomach acid and some puke. I don't know. It smells like, oh, you know when you're at Kings Island and you walk by a trash can and you smell like, you can't tell if it's pizza or puke? That's what I, that's what Tyler
That
did.
finish is
I
divine.
like that.
Tyler, what were we going to ask you before about the Buffalo Trace thing?
So I feel like you've mentioned this before, and it's Buffalo Trace / Sazerac. They don't really do anything special for you guys. Like they don't really care what you guys have to say. You and any other.
Influencers, you mean?
Oh, as far as
Yeah.
influencers?
Yeah,
No,
just
there are some that they mainly go with, I think, writers, bloggers, usually get all their samples. I feel like they give a lot of stuff to people that know they're going to get good reviews from.
It's like Whiskey Raiders.
Yeah, but even Whiskey Raiders, even those guys will
Okay.
kind of call them out. They don't really like something. Jay's he's pretty honest like that.
I gotcha.
But there's a lot of other publications, which I will not name, that no matter what Buffalo Trace puts out, they always get a 90 or above. Mm-hmm. It doesn't matter what it is.
Can you, without naming them, can you say what they sound like?
Like a Schmorz
My name
situation?
Yaf. My name Yaf.
No.
Have you guys ever listened to the comedian? It's Richard Jenny. He always has this bit, and he's like, "I went to a restaurant. I'm not going to name it on here, but it sounds like Fred Robster." Or
Speaking of Red Lobster, did you see that they filed for bankruptcy?
no, I didn't.
Oh,
Yes.
damn.
You better
They
go get
have
our cheddar
a-
biscuits on.
I know. I want the
Yeah,
cheddar
no
biscuit
kidding.
recipe.
Get this. They have $1 billion in debt.
Doesn't surprise me.
Damn.
Well, so I read
What
about
do you
that
mean it doesn't surprise me?
me and Kim, we go
They're the Applebee's
we
of
go
seafood.
eat there every now and again. So what happened was that they ended up losing a shit ton of money. They lost their shirt on the all-you-can-eat
shrimp.
seafood thing.
Oh.
Because people would come in there and they would eat 80,000 pounds of shrimp, and they're like, well, we're losing money every day. Then they do Crab Fest, Lobster Fest. I mean, you name it.
Right.
They're losing money.
Right. They're just trying to get you in the door, and it's not working out for them.
So now, when you go, because because Kim always gets the same meal every time she goes.
I love the place.
She gets Walt
the
shrimp.
Admiral's Feast.
She gets Walt shrimp, which is like this really good breaded shrimp.
Yeah.
So she used to get it, and it used to be like 10 or 12 different. You used to get like 12 shrimp, I think.
Now it's like 6.
Yeah, now it's like she gets like 8. She's like, "What happened to my shrimp?" So they're like cutting back to try to make more money. Yeah. So
Do they not let you pick your lobster anymore?
No. Well, yeah, I don't think.
But
so.
they only have like
Well, that was
30
another
million
thing
in cash.
that Richard Jenny talked about. He's like, what is it about that? He's like, you go in there, you look at these lobsters in the lobster tank. They've got this look of any word from the governor. He's like, when you go to a steakhouse, there's no cow tank. He's
Speaking of s'more schmoes, did you guys hear about the 2 new mash bills that they
Oh, I
announced?
did. Yes.
yes,
I saw
that.
They're talking about how many
And that's gonna
recipes they
open
can
up how many
create.
more
Well, it's another
recipes.
10. 10 more recipes we have to
Yeah,
change.
that's crazy.
Golly.
10
10
more barrel
more we gotta
strengths I gotta fucking get. Thanks.
That's another episode. We're going to have to go through all 10 recipes.
Yeah.
20 recipes?
Total.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that nobody knows is that did they like just add them and they're maturing them? Have they been maturing for a while? We're going to see them soon.
Right.
Have they
I feel
announced
like-
them because
Are
they're
these
about to
only
release?
OBSVs
I can't
in
imagine-
that mash bill?
I can't imagine that they would announce them and then have us wait 6 to 10
Yeah,
years.
no, I think it's
They're
close. I
announcing
think we'll
them
see
because
them
they're
close.
about to release, I think.
Yeah, so
Holy
43%
shnikes.
rye, 52% corn, and 5 barley. That's now their highest high rye mash bill.
That's crazy.
Then they have a
That's a
10.
lot of rye.
Then they have a 10 rye, 85% corn, and then 5 malted barley, which is now their new lowest
wanna try
rye
that.
mash bill.
Yeah.
wanna
I don't
try
know.
Everyone
man.
wants that one because they want to do that with like a fruit. It's like,
Well,
guys,
sure.
how sweet do you need?
That's what I'm
this
saying.
rye?
That sounds like really sweet corn forward
You
to
know
have
what?
that much.
This is holy
What I'm
shnikey
going to start
edition.
doing is I'm going to just start sprinkling in some sugar into my pores.
Yeah, I mean, at what point do we just take the bourbon and we just pour some freaking Fireball in
you gotta
it?
get
Or
that,
some
another
simple
that
black
syrup or
Manhattan.
something.
Simple syrup.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, let's make it as sweet as
We're
possible.
not going to make an old fashioned. We're just going to have a bourbon and simple syrup.
But I think it's smart by Four Roses.
It is.
Because,
It is.
Because you have people on one side of the spectrum that love spice, and you got a lot of the people
Well,
on
but
the other
think
side of the
about-
spectrum that love sweet.
It's polar
Well, think
opposites.
about just Four Roses in general.
I like
right?
their high rye.
But Four Roses in general, they have a very limited offering compared to places like, say, Buffalo Trace. If they're going to compete
Oh,
with
yeah.
places like that, you've got your limited edition, which is an LTO.
I'm so happy I
right?
got this bottle.
I'm so happy.
Yeah, this is good.
I'm
This
jealous
is good.
that
This
I
is
don't
very
have
good.
one. This is really good.
Um,
It does remind me a little bit of the 12-year birthday bourbon.
Really?
Yeah,
Well, that's
for
good.
sure.
I'm glad to hear that.
Yeah.
But no, it's interesting because you see these other places reacting, I feel like, to the industry by offering new things that aren't normally in their wheelhouse. And I think that's what Four Roses has done here is they're trying to compete. Like you've got Maker's Mark, they did their private select.
Yeah.
Because everyone else was doing single barrels, but what's Maker's Mark thing? You can't really do single barrels with Maker's Mark because their shtick is that they rotate them, they all taste the same. So if they do single barrels, then they're admitting that they don't all taste the same. So they do private barrel selects. Or
I'm just
private
wondering what
selects.
like a pick is going to be like now because when you go, you pick you get to choose from all 10 recipes.
Now you got
Are
to
they
choose
gonna
from
have 20?
Right.
Or they
Or do you go in and say, okay, which angle do you want to go in?
I'm assuming those new recipes won't be part of the pick selection yet before it hits prime time. See how it tracks. See how people like it.
Yeah.
But then once it does, it's like, what does that even look like?
Right. Yeah. I mean, that's a good point. Like,
But I think
from a
if-
picker standpoint.
But if you put that 85% corn with like an O yeast or the F yeast, where
could
it's
you
super fruit
imagine?
forward, that's going to be like candy
it will be, in a good way.
in a good way.
But I think they're obviously. I bet you they did more, and then they picked their best ones and then came out with it.
For sure.
I'm sure they're experimenting just like everyone else.
Think of their small batch LEs from, going forward.
This is
20 recipes
This is
to pick
tremendous.
from?
Hey,
Well, yeah.
Oh yeah.
Speaking of Maker's Mark, I'm still bummed I haven't tried the cellar aged.
Oh, you haven't?
No.
You were supposed to take a sample before you left. You never did.
I know.
Hey,
You left your bag and your
I
sample.
still got my bag over. I still got to get you that single barrel sample of the
Echo.
Free
One with
Ranch.
Yeah.
No.
Anyone else?
I had one earlier.
We're having
Good.
some Majescas
I'll
from
take
Old
one.
Fort. Yeah,
Oh my
Coming
god,
at you.
these Majescas are.
they're
legit.
ridiculous. They are so
I gotta
good.
say, this is probably one of the best Old Forester products I've had in a long time.
It's good, right?
I'll bring you
It's
the.
not even close.
I'll bring you
it's
the
good.
Frey Ranch, and I'll trade you for a Maker's Cellar.
Speaking of good, let's break open your 150 and see how it compares.
Let's see
It's
how it
been a couple of
compares.
years.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while. Did we just do that in stereo? Holy shit.
You guys.
Fucking Tyler.
You did that in stereo.
I love when you just mix shit.
Brothers got a hug.
Damn straight they do.
Ooh, pretty dark too.
That I was going to say it looked dark.
Tommy
that way.
hungry. Tommy want wings.
And what's interesting about that is they use the amber bottles for these. All their other bottles are clear.
Yeah.
The 150s have that. Which batch is this? Do you remember?
One.
Batch one.
Yeah, batch one.
It's
Which
one-
one?
I've never
which
had
one
this.
was supposedly the crowd favorite?
One.
Wasn't one?
That's why I
Okay.
grabbed one.
Good.
One seemed to be the favorite for everybody.
Oh, you got a lot left in this too.
Yeah, I barely
Nice.
touched it.
Well,
I forgot I had it.
Then
So, like, this is my grape with Lorenzo. He's got all three batches unopened.
Jesus.
Wow. Well, they're not really worth anything. You might as well drink them.
yeah, they were
It's not
for
like-
immediately they were
Immediately
worth a
they
lot.
were, but
and then they've died.
Nobody
down.
cares about them anymore.
No,
Oh,
they
really?
don't. No,
Really?
no,
Yeah.
they did not go up in price. They went.
That's fun. That's weird.
They were immediately up here, and then they've slowly.
Oh
declined.
wow, I don't like that at all.
No.
What happened?
We're gonna have to go back
What's
to
the proof?
Maybe because I'm coming.
It's
off
a
the other
higher
one?
proof, I thought.
125.6.
Yeah, I think that was one of their
Those
bigger.
fucking candies are incredible.
What did
Yeah.
you do with my half? Did you eat it?
I thought
Hey,
that was half.
My wife's in the
Where is
bathroom.
it?
That's our
My
dog's
stomach.
ear.
Oh,
You ate the whole thing.
waiting for her
Yes.
to come out.
I thought
You were gonna split one, and you ate the whole thing.
I thought that was half of it.
I gave
It
you an
looked small,
unwrapped.
it looked-
Hold on. For those of you listening, Tyler and I looked at each other for the Majescas. He's like, "I'll take half," and I was like, "Oh, I'll split it with you." So I sent him an unwrapped candy,
Yeah.
They're not the. To be
He-
fair, that's
but it was unwrapped.
wrapped is
it's
is
unwrapped.
a loose term.
It
there.
was unwrapped. You have to unwrap it,
Yeah.
which means it has not been
I
touched
thought
yet.
I thought it was open.
What's
were
the
there any-
difference
hey,
if it's open or not?
Are there any left?
I don't have. Oh, it's over here.
Are there any left? Were there
Yeah.
any left when you?
Yeah.
Okay, thank God.
You're
Because
the one that
I thought I was getting
tossed it
half
in the
of
bag.
Yeah, but I thought I was getting half of
If
this.
I
Brett,
if I
did you
get
get
a
one?
if I get a plate
Brett,
of French fries,
yeah.
will you have some
Yes, I
French
got.
fries?
Thank you. Thank you.
If I get French fries for the table, will you have some?
I always will have French fries for the table. I will always eat
French fry
fries.
buffer.
That's a Chris Farley.
Joey
classic.
doesn't share food.
lay off me. I'm starving.
So you thought this was half?
yeah.
Just clarifying. This thing's fucking humongous. He thought this was half.
Yeah, to be
What?
fair, the thought really stopped when I started opening it.
So you want a whole one?
I was like, "Oh, this is half. This is mine." And then that thought of maybe it wasn't, or maybe it was, just really just I
get-
opened it and started eating it.
I get a little of that acetone you talk about, Jason,
Yeah.
on this. I do.
So what was special about these?
Their 150th anniversary.
They were special blends. They were a
Each
higher
one had
age than
something.
what we got. Each blend was different. There were three of them. Each one was spicy, one was sweet, and one was kind of. This one was the combination of both.
Okay.
Apparently, I mean,
The Powerpuff Girls.
I don't. But the problem is they weren't age stated.
Man, I do get that acetone on this.
I get acetone on Elijah Craig Barrel Proof some batches.
Really?
Are you still
Well,
getting
I get-
reflux?
I get ethanol on that, whereas Old Forester,
Yeah.
I smell straight up nail polish remover, and that's why I get the same shit.
I really don't know if it's something I ate
Michter's,
today
too.
or
Which is why I think it's Old Forester.
Really?
Some of the high age Michter stuff, I get acetone. So I'm like, man, this has to
And
be
they
Old
source
Forester.
some of their
20s.
stuff, right?
Well, I mean, apparently, but who knows anymore?
Have you had a Mistress 25?
Damn.
25, no. I've had the 20. That's the oldest one I've had.
And
I
you
think
had the Michter's 10. We had that one time.
Yeah.
Was pretty
I,
good.
That was pretty
I know
good.
there was a group like Bourbon Junkies and Matt Porter and them who got a celebration. And
Well, no, Matt got it because so Dan and Julie Like, who are
Yes.
amazing people, they're down in Florida.
they shared it, right?
They have one and they shared it. Yeah.
the celebration.
Apparently,
Sour
I
Mash.
have to go down there and visit them in order to get a taste of that one. So I will.
Where in
I will
Florida?
So you will.
I will. I will. Eventually, I'll get
Where
down
in
there.
Florida?
I forgot where they are exactly.
I wonder if we could get them on the podcast.
I
If
go to
they're
Florida every year.
within 5 minutes of the ocean, you'll enjoy it.
Yeah.
I go to Florida every year.
So what do you guys think of this one?
I don't get as much of the acetone
Yeah, I like
on the
it.
taste as I do on the nose. The nose was straight up acetone. The taste, now I'm just eating this Majeska. And
So
I've
it's
still
marshmallow and
Are you
caramel.
getting all almond now?
I've got salted caramel and marshmallow in my teeth.
Yeah.
So I'm sure that's
Oh.
affecting my flavor profile.
It's good.
I like it.
I like the President's Choice, I think, a little better because I think it has a richer oak profile
Yeah.
without going too over
Of
the
the
top.
three, which one do you prefer?
I liked one because it was just more balanced.
The 9-year?
Oh, you talking about the President's Choice?
Yeah, yeah.
President's Choice.
Oh, yeah, the 12-year easily.
Really?
Oh, hell yeah. Was
I
I'm
think
so-
they got
yeah.
continue it like better as we went. Like the first one was
Yeah.
good. The second one that you brought was
a little
better.
better.
Mine
and
was
this one was
good, but
even better.
it fell flat on
But
the
that,
finish.
that 12-year.
Yours
Yeah.
was good and had a decent finish.
Yep.
That 12-year was just
The 12-year
rich.
is.
And
Did
so
you
that-
see what that's trading for right now?
Because
What
I'm gonna sell
people
that
are
bitch
doing
on the
with that?
secondary.
Which
I'm
one?
kidding.
So the 12-year.
The 12-year President's
I've seen
Choice?
them on CBX, you know, the Facebook
yeah.
group,
Yeah.
going for batch 12 EHT barrel proof and 400.
Which is crazy because I've seen
I don't know what that
President's
goes for,
Choices
the
alone
batch
selling for
EHT.
$1,200.
Because it's a 12-year.
But I've seen President's Choices alone selling for $1,200.
But what's
Yeah.
the batch EHT go for?
That doesn't
Like
equal
$450?
$1,200.
400?
Yeah, about.
So that's 800 and 850.
That's what
Yeah.
I mean. That's not $1,200.
Yeah.
And this, in my opinion, is one of the
Like,
better.
I feel like they're
President's
jumping the
Choices.
gun and just like, okay, I'm going to make 150 off
Yeah, and
this
I haven't
and
tasted
get a
it.
bottle.
I have no idea how good
Well,
this
that's the
is.
thing, man. When they announced like that you could do a tour and get the President's Choice, every asshole in America in Louisville went to go do that tour, and then those fucking bottles
Is
were
that how they got
secondary
it?
the next year.
Is that how
Or
they
the
got
next
it,
day,
you
I
think?
should say.
A
What?
tour? Is that how they got it?
Well, no, I mean there was. So the last time I was in Louisvle, I was there with my mother. We went to the Bardstown Bourbon Company event that we went to.
Where's the man in McKenna?
Yeah, yeah.
That was
Pretty good.
That was pretty good.
That was not me. That was
Honest to God, thought that was you.
yeah.
Brett,
Brett,
tell your
that was
mom.
good, Brett.
I've been
You've been practicing in the mirror.
yeah, I have.
In the mirror.
Hey, let's do it again. Take two. Take two.
He's put on his mash and drum
In the
hat.
mirror. He puts on the master drum hat, and he's like, "All right, give me
Holy
this."
shit! That was. I am.
Wow, Brett.
Super.
Listen,
He's a
I'm an
chameleon.
impressionist.
Hold on.
I'm an impressionist.
Hold on. Jackie's I Can Makes It Move. That made it move for me.
Yeah.
That was good. That was good.
So when we were there, I had heard from a couple of other guys locally that I know that hey, Old Forester's doing these tours now. I think the tour is like $100 and something, but you get a shot to
special
buy.
tour.
Yeah, but you get a shot to buy the President's Choice at the end.
Gotcha.
So I think every asshole in America went and did it, and then they got a President's Choice, and then it was on secondary the next day.
I mean, tasting that,
It wasn't this one. It wasn't this 12-year though.
No, that 12 year is going for the EHT barrel proof.
Well, yeah, that
That's
12-year.
Which is
I
insane.
would trade an EHT barrel proof for that. That's not even close.
You'd rather have the EHT.
No, I'd rather
No,
have
no,
that.
no. He'd rather, that's what he's saying.
Yeah.
Right.
He would
but-
trade an EHT
but
barrel.
The
What I've
people
seen-
spending 400 and an EHT barrel proof are making out.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what I'm saying. Is I don't think that's a fair trade for the person who has the President's Choice.
No, it's not.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, we
they're-
tasted it, and I mean, if you traded it, you're a dumbass.
Yeah.
It's good.
Yeah.
If you
you're-
traded it, then you
if you
don't
have that
give a shit about
President's
what it tastes
12-year,
like.
freaking keep it.
Yeah.
I think it's too good.
It's good.
And you heard it first from Jason.
On the Bourbon Hunters podcast.
That's right.
Yeah, it's stupid good.
If you want to take
That's one of the best bourbons I've had this year.
if you want to take
Wow.
a sample
That's
of that,
impressive.
That is high praise.
if you want to take a sample of that and do it,
I don't
on
know if
a-
it's high praise. There's not
Well,
really
hold
been
on
a
to
lot
take
of
the
great
bottle.
releases this year.
if you
What?
want to take a sample of that and do it on your
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah,
that thing
take
is
it.
stupid good.
yeah,
Michael
for sure.
McDonald will be commenting.
Jesus.
Yamo, taste that. Yeah.
Now they micro batch these, right?
You micro batch them. They give you a laser code. All the things.
Mash
All
and
the
Drams
things.
might be making a return.
Mash and drams. All right. So we're an hour and a half in, which is about our good threshold, I think.
Yeah.
We're not the Joe Rogan podcast for 4 hours.
Fucking 3 hours, yeah.
We're not Theo Vaughn.
And we're only once a week. Yeah, we're actually funny.
That's just absurd.
I was waiting for Tyler.
Yeah.
Comment.
I mean, listen,
We're gonna have to get Tyler a Prilosec stat.
We're up
Yes.
there with Bobby Lee.
I like Bobby Lee.
oh,
like
you
Bobby
could
Lee
call
a
it
lot.
Bobby Lee's great.
the Tyler
Yes.
Schaefer Prilosec rating. And just have it on the side of your fucking
A Prilosec
for a few
scale?
episodes. Just have it there and see if anyone says anything like, "What the fuck is this?"
Yeah.
The Prilosec scale.
I'm wondering if I updated that to YouTube, if YouTube would give me a copyright knock on it. If I have a
Call
Prilosec
it-
meter.
Hold on,
Just
his
have
name's
Upchuck.
was
Yeah.
Tyler Schaefer, and so instead of Prilosec, call it the
The Schaefer
Schaefer
the
Shack.
Schaefer scale.
the Schaefer scale,
scale.
the,
I like
Schaefer
Schaefer scale.
the Tyler,
I like it.
the Tyler Sec,
Yeah.
something,
Tyler Sec.
something. All right, guys.
The Prilosec.
We got through a few things here. There were a few bottles we brought out that we never got to. We've got 8 bottles on the glass here. We didn't get to all of them because
Jason, thanks for sharing this.
Yeah. And
No,
thanks.
it's all about that President's Choice 12 year tonight. That thing is
tonight,
ridiculous.
Yeah, I
That
was
is so good.
so happy about that.
I had to call my wife and be like, "Hey, I'm going to spend $250 now."
Right?
That was $250.
Yeah.
That's a bargain.
Do you think so?
I think,
Well,
I think it's well worth it.
I had to call
There's
because
very few bourbons I've tried this year that are plus 200
That you think are worth
that
it?
are even close to being that good.
Really?
That I'd pay $250 and a bag of chips for that.
Nice.
The bag of
Well,
chips.
I've
is
got
what puts
lawyer
it over
It's
fees.
the bag of chips,
It's always the
and it's
bag
the
of
kettle
chips.
chips.
Or hey, hot take, baked lays.
I like baked
So
Lays.
this is
Baked
my
Lays I
wife
can
on the
do.
other end of the phone. She's like, fine.
Eating Cheetos.
Fine.
No,
Oh, you're
she-
talking about
I
your
called.
story.
I called. I'm like, hey, I just want to let you know. I told you I wasn't going to spend any money today.
Yeah.
but
You
They're
fucking
offering
liar.
me
You
a
knew.
once in a lifetime.
You're so full of shit because you knew there was a chance you were going to get something.
Well, I mean, I had to plant the seed, right?
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah.
I planted the seed inside my wife the night before. But that seed doesn't bear any fruit because I've had a vasectomy.
gotcha. Yeah, not cut at all, but
Wait, you're uncut?
uncut, unfiltered,
Wow.
Really, you got a banana peel working there?
Nice.
banana hammock. So
Wait, you just
You got you got a
crossed
peel?
the
next
streams.
week, guys.
You crossed the streams. I don't know what's happening.
I don't know, but all I know is I told her I was like, I know I said I wasn't going to spend any money, but I'm going to spend $250, and she's like, fine.
And next week on the podcast, thanks guys for joining in. Next week we'll have who knows, but Manscaped, right?
20% off,
20% off. Code Bourbon Hunters.
free shipping.
Free shipping and 20%
By
off.
the way, I did.
That's
buy, I did buy
30%.
some stuff. It's great.
When did you get it?
Literally like 3 days ago.
My buddy
Sweet.
got
So
his
we're when did he get it?
like 2 days ago.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, Manscape it up. It's good
Free
stuff.
shipping
It's
and
good.
20%.
Like,
I'm
honestly.
only 3 days in, but that ball gel works really good.
The ball bomb? The ball bomb?
What's it called? What's it called? Crop Reviver or something?
Yeah, something reviver. Yeah.
Crop Reviver.
I love, Tyler, that we are getting sponsored by Manscaped and you have no idea what the products are.
I just laughed at the fucking name.
How are you not sponsored by Dude Wipes yet? As
Exactly.
Right?
Oh,
next.
I'll have to reach out to
yeah.
him.
You have to reach out to Dude
reach out
Wipes.
to Dude Wipes.
Just send him a picture of your license and be like, "Let's make this happen."
To be fair,
valid.
I use what is it? Dollar Shave Club's wipes,
Okay.
which are phenomenal.
Yeah.
I've never used Dude Wipes. People always send me texts while they're at Walmart or Target of Dude Wipes, and I'm like, I've never used them
Yeah.
because I've always used Dollar Shave Club. Their wipes are outstanding.
Yeah, Manscaped. Get the stuff. Use the link. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's good stuff, guys. And they have female stuff too. So we have Father's Day coming up.
Yep.
If you're looking to buy something for your husband who is a father, or if you are a kid and have a father, which we all do, right?
Or if you're married to somebody with an ex-husband with kids.
That's weird. You just took it to Jerry Springer land. All right, guys. See you guys next week. Have a good one. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us on yet another hunt for great bourbon. Please give us a 5-star review anywhere you are listening. But if you can't, leave some constructive criticism in the review so that we can get better at improving our show. Good reviews help us bring better guests on for your listening pleasure, not mine. But until then, sit back, grab a pour, kick up your feet, and enjoy some bourbon.